Hi everyone, welcome to this special edition of Purely Candid, normally hosted by Izzy and Nadia. But today, I, James or Fat Boy, I am guest hosting. These ladies have decided that today I shall guest host. I have been given the honor, and so I shall try my best to be a good host.
We're all for gender balance and empowering the male child.
Right. So. You see, that's what gender equality is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be a tandem, not one gender completely taken over.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can invite men back to the
table.
What
used to be their place.
Exactly. We're just seat warmers for them.
Well, today we're talking about the issue of how some people like to go to social media to talk about challenges they faced in past relationships. It's something you've seen happen a lot lately, where when someone breaks up from a marriage or a relationship, next thing they do is to go on social media and talk about all the ways that they are survivors of something, maybe of emotional abuse or physical abuse or of all kinds of personal troubles that they encountered while in that relationship or marriage. And then they go on social media and then they talk about it. And this, of course, invites all of us, the online in-laws, to weigh in on the issue.
Online in-laws.
To give our opinions and to castigate the other genders. And it turns into...
Take sides, who is a better person, who isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the question we're asking today is that a good thing? Is it good to do that, to go on social media and air out your relationship dirty laundry? Is it truly valid as a healing process, as some might allege? And so that's what we'll be covering on today's Purely Candid. I am Fat Boy, guest host on today's Purely Candid. And of course, our usual hosts, Nadia and Izzy, are here and looking great as usual. So I'm just going to dive right into it. Nadia, what do you think? When someone breaks up, should they be going on social media and complaining about their ex?
It depends. If in the course of the relationship, they were always talking about their person, put them in our faces, showing us the fancy trips and all the good stuff. I think it's only fair that we get to see, first of all, the breakup. To some extent, what caused it. I don't think we need to know all the dirty laundry, but there's some point of sharing that is tolerable for me.
So you're saying if you invited us to be a part of your relationship while it was good,
yeah, why not? Let's enjoy the drama.
Entitled to to
exactly
sink our teeth into it if things have gone bad.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Izzy?
100%. If you had invited us in your journey, then don't just leave us hanging. Don't just leave us in suspense. Because before, you were posting each other, you were doing all these things, and we got emotionally invested.
We're now fans.
We are social media in-laws. We are not just fans. We are in-laws. We want to know everything that happens all the way. Yeah. So if things turn sour, you should let us know. Now, to what extent is the thing? Because okay, I know that people overshare and, say all these things. Now, if you break up, I think a statement is also okay. We have broken up, respect our privacy, we are still friends, etc. It can end there. But there are some people who want to know all the details. What happened? Did he cheat? Because now people are going to start putting speculations and creating stories and all these things. So sometimes you let us in, so give us all the tea, all the juice. We want to know everything. Don't just, now at some point, just drop us there and then pretend as if, nothing has happened.
Well, if I may get more specific, let's talk about the Daniela situation.
Yes.
Daniela, the former wife of Jose Chameleone.
Are they legally divorced? Or
I don't know if they're estranged, but they're separated.
Divorced? They're just separated.
Whether formally or not, they are separated. That we can be sure of. Okay, so over the past few weeks, she's been putting up posts on social media discussing the abuse she allegedly faced and how she's on a healing journey now. And we've seen pictures she's posted of herself seemingly enjoying her life in America, where she has been living for some time. And it invited a lot of questions about her attacking her ex-husband, Jose Chameleone. Myself, I felt like it was improper of her to do, especially since she was alleging, criminal activity. She was alleging she was abused and that she had suffered domestic violence. Now, my problem with that is we have no way of verifying her claim because okay, she is telling us her side of the story, but then we haven't heard from Chameleone's side of the story. You saw what happened with Johnny Depp when his ex-wife Amber Heard first came out with her allegations. We all took her side, believing her to be the victim until the matter was taken to court by Johnny Depp, who sued her for defamation. And we heard recordings of them in their home where you could clearly see
The instigator.
she was the instigator of much of the domestic drama and the violence. We even heard tapes where she was taunting him. Who will believe you? You're a man. You're a man and you're going to go around saying your wife was bad to you? No one's going to believe you.
Yeah.
And it's true. No one believes men. And so Chameleone has so far remained silent. Perhaps he has a side of the story that might paint a different picture from what Daniela is painting. So should Daniela not at least be more thoughtful in discussing her ex, because we can't automatically assume she's innocent?
Yeah.
So, Onen, your point is that she has no evidence, so she shouldn't speak up?
I think you shouldn't. I don't think it's healthy to do, because for various reasons. First of all, you're inviting a lawsuit on yourself. Your ex could take you to court for defamation. And then if you have children now, your children are going to have to deal with the aftermath of that. Perhaps they're hearing you paint their other parent in a very negative light.
Yeah.
It's going to affect their relationship, wouldn't it, Izzy?
Okay, so there is no relationship right now, I want to believe.
There's some bit of relationship. They have children together, so.
May not be a romantic relationship, but
there is
it's
still a relationship.
Yeah.
it's a parental.
Okay, so to me, in as much as a lot of women are saying, oh, she's speaking her truth, she's healing, she's this, she's that, to me, it's a wrong forum. If you have issues with your exes, first of all, she was never on social media before. Okay, like she wasn't a social media person. She was a very private person. So if she dealt with her things personally, or maybe, in whatever way she dealt with them, I think even after breakup, deal with them in the same way. If she was Ashila Gashumba and God's plan, who are in everyone's faces, and then, if they break up, they're now abusing each other. It's, a fazali draw. We are both doing it. But she never used to talk about her personal relationship on social media. Why is she now coming right now? Okay, to me, she seems like a bitter ex of, if I can't have you, no one is going to have you. So I'm going to taint your image to the whole world. She has been on this guy for months and months. The guy has not even put a dot on social media to respond. Zero. So what is she trying to achieve? She can speak her truth in front of a therapist. She can go and seek professional counseling. If she has evidence, she can go and open a police case and be like, you know what? I was a victim of domestic abuse. But her going on social media and doing it on social media, even if she's speaking her truth, I think the forum is wrong.
Women have been saying we should allow her to speak, even on social media, that this is part of her healing journey, and that for us to tell her to not do it, that it's a bad thing because we are interrupting her healing process. What do you think about that?
I think, healing aside, she's also probably trying to be a voice for those who are going through similar scenarios like hers. Like, you're in an abusive marriage, abusive relationship, you don't know how to get out of it. She wants to be the voice for those that feel like they can't come out.
Being a voice,
from how she's putting it out there, yes.
Nadia, being a voice, give us evidence. Because for you to be credible, show us pictures of you having a black eye. Show us a doctor's report of a broken rib. Like, be believable. The same way he talked about Amber Heard, who first came and all of us saw, like outside, everyone saw Amber as the angel. Up until roles were actually reversed. Now she has made it worse for other people who are genuine victims of domestic violence, because right now we are wondering, is it true or not? But if at all Amber gave like their videos, their recordings, everything, we would actually believe her, and it wouldn't soil it for other people. Right now we are questioning her because everything is, I went through this, but there's like not even your best friend
No, that's
witnessing
not true.
and saying,
That's not
yes,
true.
there's a time she
That's
came
not
to my
true.
house, she was beaten, she had a black eye. Everything is one-sided from
No,
one
that's
person.
not true. There have been reports about the abuse she has gone through. From when she was very popular, back in the day when we never had social media, it wasn't as big of a deal.
What kind of reports
There
though?
What
have been
kind?
reports about her. They used to be in the papers.
I've
About
never
her being
reports.
battered. At least I had heard of those stories of her being beaten
Okay, so
before,
that's
before
okay,
her
now-
recent allegations.
See, here's another
And I want to
angle.
first finish my point and then before you come in. What we are expecting or what we are asking of her is to produce evidence, right? Which is fine. She can do that. But I don't think right now she's out to get that sort of to have her ex pay for what he
No,
did.
she's out for blood.
The blood, she's actually just trying to tarnish his image in public because that's all she's out for right now. She's not seeking for him to be arrested, for him to be charged. That's not the point for her right now, at least from what I see.
Is that fair though? Because she is ruining his reputation, and
But you
that's,
see, the thing is,
that's going to
the
affect
thing is,
his.
Onen, the side that we are
livelihood.
taking right now is the side of the perpetrator. We are blaming the victim for
No, this
choosing
is-
whatever
We
method.
are saying the forum, Nadia.
Uh-huh.
It's the forum. Speak your truth in whatever manner you want to. The forum is what we are questioning. Like I said, if God's plan and Sheila, no one said anything because they were loud with everything. This one, you are quiet on the other side, which all of us assumed was good, and now you're coming up. So you are not easily believable because what are you trying to accomplish? So we are saying the forum. If you were someone who dealt with how many years of marriage, which brought about 4 beautiful children, or 5, I don't know, and then you're saying that it has been bad all along, how are you dealing with that bad then? If you are speaking to a priest or a counselor or something, even after breakup, go to the same forum. Don't come and now start throwing it out and like tarnishing his image, the father of your children. What is your end game here?
So you see now, in the case of celebrities, I think it's a very different approach and why people would choose to take the court of public opinion because that's the only way that they could hurt them, truly and genuinely. Diddy and Cass is a big, one of the examples you saw. Like, she could choose to sue him in private and to get paid and to walk away.
She did.
Yes. But you see, for it to really hit the spot, the world has to know. He has to go down. He has to lose deals. He has to lose money. And that's when you know you have really hit the nail on its head.
My problem is this. See, we believe in, at least I do, in due process, presumption of innocence.
Yes.
So that even if you found me lying on the side of the road and I claimed that, that Izzy is the one who assaulted me and beat me up or hired goons to murder me, wouldn't you still want us to assume the innocence of Izzy until we're able to prove it in a court of law? Should you just believe me because I am obviously hurting and I'm injured? Does it mean I'm therefore always right and I should never be questioned?
No, of course, the law has to prevail.
So
and the due process has to prevail.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is the approach we are taking now is to point our fingers at her, to have a problem for bringing out things the way she's bringing them out. Yes, it's not right. But can we tell her, okay, this has been said, how about we go through this process? What people are doing online, especially the men, are saying she's lying, or she's a bitter ex, or she's not even healing, this is not even considered healing, blah, blah, blah. And yet...
Is she willing to listen, though, to be told? Because I believe there are people who have probably reached out. Because I remember there was someone who put a comment and said, why don't you go and, I don't know, resolve this in private? Okay, so to me...
But how do you resolve the fact that someone beat you?
No, listen, Nadia.
What's there to
me,
resolve?
everything he said about him, at some point, I was indifferent about it. Until when now she moved to the guy's mother. That is where, to me, I'm like, okay, boundaries have been clearly crossed here. Because she can say her truth about him, everything. But now
going after the mother
dragging his
seemed to be
mother
a weird move.
was perfect.
She raised him, did she? She raised abusive sons. Which is also in the mix of beating his wife. At least we have seen those photos.
But here's
Do we
another
deny
thing.
that?
Another very important aspect of domestic violence that has to be considered. And I'll start by saying that it's wrong. Anytime it happens, it's wrong. Yes. However, there is some nuance to it, which is that a lot of times domestic violence tends to be mutually caused. And by that I mean, the stereotype is guy walks home, enters the house drunk, and just starts beating the wife. Or that's what we often hear people say. But in reality, these violent scuffles arise out of arguments.
Yes.
And so couples are fighting, and then the man, being the stronger gender, is able to land the finishing blow usually because he's the tougher guy. So if you and I, Nadia, just start fighting over something, you're a naturally woman, so,
And I'm not
so you probably kick my ass.
Remember that.
You're also a naturally man, so
kids group.
you'll probably kick her ass
No, by
as
the
well.
way, in our case, it's the other way around. The women are to beat.
Yeah.
Although Daniela is a
humble.
naturally, so I don't know what happened
By
there.
the way,
Probably
come to
mixed.
think of it.
But
Yeah.
but typically the guy is stronger.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
And so if my wife comes at me and starts kicking me and slapping me, chances are it won't hurt that much. I mean, it'll hurt, but probably not as much as it will if I retaliate and slap her back across the face. And chances are, if it escalates, I might give her one punch that sends her flying
knock
across
her
the
out.
room, knock her out. Then neighbors come and say, my gosh, this guy is trying to kill her. What they will not know is what happened 30 minutes prior, where she was chasing me around the house with a knife, or where she was beating me or trying to hack me with a panga. They're not seeing any of that. They're just seeing the end result, where now she's lying in a pool of blood because I was finally able to, to keep her at bay, right? And then I will be painted as the abuser without people acknowledging that we were fighting. And so it's okay for Daniela to say she suffered abuse, but my question usually is, so what was really going on? And this is why we want to hear the other side of the story, because as was the case with Johnny Depp, we found out that she almost cut off the guy's finger, defecated on his bed. These are things we never knew about.
Exactly.
Chick was crazy. I swear.
So I'm not saying
But we never said chick was crazy at the beginning. All of us were saying, "Oh my god!"
No, for me,
sweet
but
little
I honestly
thing.
didn't-
exactly.
I
So you
follow
need to
that
be in a
story.
room. You need to be in a room.
I didn't
with
follow
us.
it as much.
The Johnny Depp one?
Yes.
It was rubbed in our faces.
I did follow it
because
that
for
much.
the first time, the men had a score and the women were all quiet. So the men rubbed it in our faces and the evidences were just ridiculous.
So, for all we know, Chameleone versus Daniela, whatever they were doing, I suspect, I'm not claiming to know for sure, but I suspect that there is more to it than she's telling us.
I want you to eat
And
your
because
words.
Chameleone has remained quiet, we will never know the other side of it. And so I'm not quick to believe Daniela.
I hope she takes it to court and actually gets seeks justice the right way. I hope she does.
She
Just like in
wants.
the case of Cassie, when it first came out, we thought, allegations. She just wants to get paid. And then things keep coming out, videos, and it's crazy how bad it got.
So obviously everyone right now is talking about the Cassie video. I don't know if you saw it.
I
Where
saw
she's
it.
being
Ah.
beaten
I was
up in the
like,
hotel. It looks terrible.
You see, now that kind of case, of course, the guy could have been
However,
intoxicated,
like again, I
but
said-
still,
You see,
That is one video because
Here's
even
a-
Johnny Depp at the beginning, she had videos of, like she had a black eye and this and that and text messages because she was showing her side. So it's Johnny Depp was not an angel, but like he said, it was fights. It's not that
how
me.
much
me, I'm
evidence
just
must
seated
you
and then someone
see
comes
of
and
someone
beats
being
So
beaten
even-
before you believe that they were actually? You
we're
were
not
the first
denying
guy.
that they were
We are
beaten.
not
You see,
denying that now.
Nadia, you can be beaten, but when you were also beating.
Exactly.
Just because you are
Of course,
beaten doesn't mean you're
self-defense. It doesn't mean that
innocent.
because I'm defending myself that I'm now the beater.
What if you're both beating each other?
But,
Exactly.
but who started it?
That's-
You see, Cassie was
exactly.
It's
running
not about
away.
who started it. Domestic violence. Okay, according to me,
Bro, me all I know is if I'm ever in a situation where you're beating me, I will get a knife. I will do what I will beat you back.
No, but let me tell you something.
I will.
Nadia, you'll be surprised. And men keep talking about how they get provoked, but women do try to provoke fights. This
I
is just,
agree.
it has to be acknowledged.
I agree.
Sometimes it is verbal. Sometimes she's taunting you. And it could be because, maybe you genuinely annoyed her. Maybe you came home late. Maybe you slept with somebody else. She found out, she's pissed. But then in an attempt to hurt you, she will try to say
Taunt
hurtful
you with her
things and
words.
taunt you. Maybe call into question your sexuality. Maybe attack your mother. Things like that. Things which can easily get under a man's skin. Things that can get him to react violently. But sometimes some girls go beyond that, where they're the ones who initiate the violence. She
Yeah.
kicks you. You fool. She slaps
Exactly.
you. And you're sitting there taking it,
Haven't
telling her
reached
to
those levels yet.
cool down, warning her repeatedly to stop, and she doesn't, and she continues. And then when you finally react and send her flying across the room with a punch, all of a sudden she's the victim. And then feminists and women's activists are going to say, well, this is how women are suffering every day. Well, the man was suffering too. Who speaks for him?
And Nadia, for me, I don't want you to lose the plot here. We are not saying that she is lying or she was not beaten. All we are trying to say is there are two sides of the story. That is number one. The second one, is this the right forum? If you were not giving us the glitz and the glam on social media, why are you now dragging us into the bad part? Especially the fact that he has repeatedly refused to respond. Now, you've noticed that his skin is so thick. Now, let me go and attack his mother so that maybe he will respond. Because I feel as if it's that taunting. I'll trigger you until
she
you
keeps
respond.
escalating. And it has happened to me, by the way. And I speak from experience. A girl I was with, and, because I can be very aloof and blasé sometimes, and my mind can wander. So sometimes I can be dating girls and they get upset that I'm not
Giving them attention.
I'm not giving them attention. And so in this instance, this lady decided that the way she would get my attention was to provoke me or to say hurtful things to me, which at first I ignored because I'm not easily rattled.
This one in social media, though, it was in person, right?
In person. We're in the house now. She's doing this. And the more I didn't react, the more she escalated the taunts. They got more and more and more and more and more personal until she was just saying the most absurd things. Now, me, I didn't care still. I just got up and I left and ignored her for a few days. She sends me a message apologizing for her behavior that day, which, by the way, is what every man should do. If you're being taunted and provoked, don't react. Walk away. So she apologized for her behavior, and then she said, at least, maybe if you had slapped me, at least I would have kept quiet. Yes. You just sat there and let me say all this crap to you. I'm like, I was also wondering, you should have at least slapped me and I would have shut up. And in my head, I'm thinking, this girl was asking me to commit violence.
And the moment you do it, whoa.
In prison.
Victim.
Exactly. She's the victim now. She's the victim. And at this point in time, she has the evidence of you slapping her.
And you can be sure that she will have a camera pointed at me. Wait to capture that moment.
And she will edit out everything else and just put that part of
and
where
then there'll be a
her.
video of me smacking her where I will look so evil. Everyone will be calling for my head. And that's what I worry is happening in a lot of these cases, that men are being entrapped into being violent so that a woman can use it against you. I'm not saying that's what happened with Chameleone and Daniela. I'm just saying because it happens, we need to also factor that in and not rush to judge
James,
men
I feel like
who are being accused.
you're excusing abusive behavior. That, oh my God, if she pushes you to this point, then if you react, it's her fault.
I'm saying...
Women... In our nature, we are very nagging. And you've heard about the nagging wife. It's even in the Bible.
That's why I said...
Expect to be nagged.
Excuse me. I'm like the number one anti-marriage advocate. And this is part of the reason. This is what you can expect. So, for peace of mind, don't get married.
Or don't trigger us.
Or don't live in a house with a woman. But if you live in a house with a woman and it gets to that point, then leave. But never fight. Because it even if you're in the right, it can't end well for you.
Yeah.
Just don't
But
engage.
now
We
here,
have been pushed to the wall.
me here now, the issue is, let's say you so walked away or whatever happens. Because now to me, the whole explanation of walking away is Chameleone being quiet and still respecting the mother of his children. Because
beating her.
No. So what happened?
Let's move on because the way you're defending him.
No. I'm trying to say the
Okay, Nadia,
forum.
have you?
Honestly, he's quiet because he knows if he's open anything, say anything,
forum, Nadia.
his reputation is going to go down.
The
Either
forum.
way.
Okay,
either
Nadia, do
way,
you know what
he
I
has lost
think?
fans.
I do think.
Either way, he has
Has
lost
he
fans.
though?
Actually,
Yes, he
Actually,
has.
Nadia, I'll give you this.
He only has male fans.
I'll give you this, Nadia. I actually think it's very possible that he may have been violent towards her. All I'm saying is there's a good chance that it was mutual, but we will never know.
We'll never, exactly.
Therefore, we need to withhold judgment.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Was it one-sided all along, or she also?
I just want Daniela to take this whole thing to court. Let's end it in court.
Yes.
But I am not taking sides of
the.
maybe he is, maybe he's not. I have a feeling he is guilty as fuck. That guy is violent. We have seen him beating up border guy on the street one time.
I also
we have
think
seen
he's a violent person.
That family has issues.
Okay.
We have seen them out in the
It's
streets.
not even that I think. we know
We
he's
know
a
he
violent
is,
person,
yes.
but towards her is what we don't know.
I doubt that.
So he's a violent person. He has beaten up people. He has fought in bars.
Why would
He
his
has
wife
done
be an
all these
exception?
things. For me, my issue is, you have had your laugh. Do you have to go for his mother? You have to go for his mother. Oh, you're a bad mother. You've raised horrible kids. All your kids are women beaters. Da, 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 da. Now there, you like you.
Well,
you just
at
keep
least one is.
provoking.
We know at least one is.
Yes,
Who is that one we know?
the one who beat up his wife.
Who was Sandra Teta?
Yes.
Weasel, yeah, Weasel for
The
sure.
one
Weasel.
who-
Is
yes,
very- yeah.
yes. But now the thing is, you are now abusing his mother. You're not just saying that you are bad. You're saying your mother is bad. She's a bad mother. She has
Defended
raised bad.
her sons for beating their wives. She never calls them out. Of course, she's a bad mother. When I married her, you become my mother in that family. By the way, you're now my mother. I've married into that family. You're supposed to
So
look out
now-
for me.
Have you
So-
ever been
Married,
Beaten.
beaten by a guy?
almost.
What?
Almost.
Did you contribute anything, or you were very innocent?
Of course, I have my anger issues. I'm not lying. But I'm not saying that I am to blame for the fact that he almost did what he did. But
Okay.
honestly, to God, I swear, one of us would have died that day.
So,
So
you
they-
kept taunting him. And
One of us
taunting
would
him.
have died that day. It wasn't going to be me. Because I had a knife in my hand. I'm like, try it.
See?
Try it, bro. No, defensive.
Ah.
I was on the defense
Are you
here.
sure?
Yeah.
What caused it to get to that point? You were
no,
just seated,
not that.
and then he came and kept beating,
No, but-
and then now
but-
you went and picked
See,
a
that's
knife.
the-
He was known to be an aggressive person. Like all the guys in our friend group knew that he would beat up people. At whatever chance he got, he would beat up anyone. Actually, even when I left, I learned that he beat up one of his exes and put her in hospital. Like, see the things I survived. He was an abusive person. The difference is, I was willing to show him that I would go
So
down.
what was the
I
argument
wouldn't go
about?
down that
What was
fight.
the argument about?
I don't know what it was about, but I know it got to the point where I had to hold a knife in my hands to defend myself. If he got close, I was going to slit him.
Because I think understanding his reasons, I'm not saying
No,
I'm not saying
James,
justifies it.
what you're asking is,
I'm not saying it
what
justifies
did
it,
I
but
do to justify him wanting to beat me up? You get?
because you are asking us to assume you had nothing to do with it.
Yes,
So
you were
it's-
just
so-
seated.
so it's
It doesn't
fair- it's
matter.
fair for us to
Couples
ask
fight.
what led up
Couples
to
fight.
it.
It doesn't mean that just because you had a fight that it should result in it getting
Okay,
physical.
so how did that fight start?
I don't remember. I remember my reaction towards it and his reaction towards it.
Over what?
I don't
Okay,
remember
who
what it was
started the
about.
fight? Him. From nowhere, he just came and started slapping you and doing anything.
You know how fights
Nadia is
start.
being crafty.
All the
She's
fights,
not telling
all
us
the
her
fights,
side of the
all
story.
the fights often start with argument, like verbal arguments, right? Which escalate into something more. So when it gets to that point where temperatures are now boiling, one party has to walk away or calm down. So if I begin the fight and I'm the one that's more verbal, now for you your boiling point is, let me show her that I have energy. That's your boiling point. Argue back with words.
No, words.
back with
no,
words.
Nadia. Words is your weapon. For him, he doesn't know how to
Exactly,
express
because
himself
he's
verbally.
abusive, because he doesn't have any other defense
'Cause
but
let
to
me
use
tell
his
you,
punches.
you
He's
know,
an abusive man.
Easy. So there's this thing. Shaquille O'Neal recently said, "Never discuss your problems with women," and this is partly why is that a lot of times women ask us to open up, and it's not easy for us to do. But then we open up and we share personal tragedy and trauma with the women in our lives, hoping we get some understanding, only for her to then next
Use
time
it
you're having
against
an
you.
argument, bring it up.
Yes.
Like let's say you discussed child abuse. Maybe your mother beat you up, or maybe your uncle molested you, and you say this to your girlfriend. And imagine you're having an argument, and then she says something
No
like,
wonder
"You know what?
you-
No wonder your uncles are just taking advantage of you. You're so useless."
I can see that. I mean, that's a very good way to fight. Like sometimes, like if you want to get petty,
More
that's
than a
something-
few
that's something
men,
you can do.
more than a few men may want to commit murder at that moment.
But I've also had guys use that against me. Like when you tell them something of yours that's like in confidence, like a moment
But
of
very
weakness.
rarely are men that petty.
Bro,
Nadia.
every
Very
time,
rarely are
every
men that
time,
petty.
every time.
It's
You-
usually
Okay, chicks are
women.
worse. Chicks have more emotional intelligence. They know what stings. They can stick a knife in your heart.
But
and
does that
just want to
justify
die. It
my
doesn't.
face?
It doesn't
In the
justify
wall.
Nadia.
It doesn't, but
It
surely
doesn't.
are you saying there's no responsibility at all for the other party in the escalation?
The responsibility to handle our fights in a sane manner, yes, is on both parties. Like if my tensions are high, you find a way to be low.
You know,
If
the problem...
if mine are low, I mean, if I'm low, I should try and find a way to get you to calm down.
The problem is, for us women, we expect that the man is the one who always has to walk away. Me, I have to keep shouting, and the man walks away.
Why can't the chick walk away?
Exactly.
What
Why
we
can't
do,
you
we
keep
walk
quiet,
away.
actually?
We walk away sometimes.
No.
Sometimes.
A lot of times
You
we
sit around and howl more abuse.
Exactly.
And then when the slaps
Or
come, you're like...
rather, why can't we shut up? If we can't walk
my
away,
gosh.
why can't we just stop pushing this person?
Okay.
That's why I have
Why
my
do I have
fight.
to abuse
Nowadays,
your
my
mother?
fights are in text. Nah, I
My
write a
favorite
paragraph
word.
and tell you, read it. Let's get back to it later.
My
I
favorite
no
word
longer
is
fight with words.
de-escalation. De-escalation. There will always be reason to argue, but as responsible adults, can we de-escalate? Like if
Yeah.
you can tell the other person's getting a bit too heated,
Yeah,
de-escalate. We can both be responsible about this.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
So
Don't hold knives. Don't keep knives. Never fight in the kitchen.
And
But what if you had
and
killed
not
him?
abuse people's parents.
When you're
as
angry, you
well.
think you care about that. But I know he would have beaten me up. He was a martial arts trained guy. He would beat me up if he wanted to beat me up. What would the knife do to him?
Exactly. No, first of all, by the time I would have slit his throat.
I would have done this.
You
He
think
would
that
beat me up if he wanted
he'll
to
just
beat
be
me up.
standing, putting his neck up, and then you will come and...
No, I mean, he would be trying to come and get my hand or something. I'll do.
okay, so on the issue of airing out your problems on social media, Nadia, how would you feel if your ex went to social media and just started talking crap about you? Maybe not violence, but maybe just, or she's very
a
hoe. Dirty
she's
woman.
a hoe. She's a
She's a
cheating
hoe.
slut.
Uh-huh.
Because usually, it's not uncommon for a girl to break up to date another guy.
Yeah.
So imagine
It's
if you
typical, actually.
put that out there.
Especially how everyone came for Kanye and even called him to be having
episode.
mental issues. The moment he mentioned that, Meek fucked his wife and Dre and
Kanye?
yes.
Did he say that?
Meek Mill, yes.
Meek Mill fucked who?
Kim.
Really?
They were working on
Oh,
a
gosh.
social
That can't be
justice
true.
kind
Meek
of
Mill is a
something,
hoe, eh?
something. No,
Meek Mill is a hoe.
He went and ranted on social media and called out
I
Meek.
didn't know that.
And then also this guy who is currently in a fight with
Drake.
with Kendrick. Yes, Drake.
Kendrick.
He also called
Drake,
him
okay.
out for. But every woman was calling him names and saying, his mental issues. Da, 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 da. He was ranting. But if it was Kim who was calling out Kanye, all the women will be like, yes, speak your truth, go girl.
Yeah,
Da, da, da,
I
da,
feel
da, da.
there's a whatever to that, double standard to it. But you asked the question of how would I feel if my ex was calling me a hoe on socials? I say too bad for him. Just throwing some shout outs to you for doing this right.
So what if people said, allow him to speak his piece?
No, let him speak
He's
his
healing.
truth. And I should also add there that I was good at it while I was with him. Give me some props. So my next guy knows that, you know what, some good shit is coming your way. Yeah.
What would
Throwing
you
some
do,
props.
Izzy? What about you if your ex?
If my ex went on social media trying to...
But would they though? You are so frank.
Yes, I'm very, very frank. But my question is, why would I be with someone who is
Who's
so
gonna-
comfortable
yeah.
taking a dirty laundry on social media?
I also never see it happening to me, honestly. I never
I
see
don't
it
see it
happening.
ever
Because
happening.
First of all, 'cause I'm
they
very
want to hurt your
private.
feelings. Because, and ruining your reputation is one of the easiest ways.
I know, because now because in most cases, if you don't say anything, people are going to believe everything he says. Just like right now, all women, most women, I'm not among. I know she went through a lot, but to me, her forum and the fact that she's now attacking his mother is wrong. But if a man came for me on social media, would I be quiet? I don't think so.
I would also
I
write
would
back.
defend myself.
You
I
would?
would also bring all my guns blazing. Yes. It will be a
become a
Fazali
fight,
draw.
yeah.
It will be a Sheila and a God's plan kind of thing.
So you
Call
don't
me
you don't
dirty, I
think
call you
taking
this.
the high road here and just maintaining silence is the best
I
option?
think I'd also choose silence because a guy can destroy you online, bro.
Because
When he has your nudes,
No, the thing is that he's doing all that. Will you just be quiet and not even say anything? Is the question.
just
He has brought all
post
these
yourself
evidences.
on a bikini somewhere having fun, sipping a mojito or something.
yeah,
They will even do a reverse porn and and
that's the
put
thing. Like
your
with
sex
guys,
tape.
it can
Now
go
the
bad.
question is, will you be quiet? Is the question. I don't think I'll be quiet. I think I'll say something. So it may not be me attacking him as well, but at least I'll defend my character to that T. I don't think I'll just be quiet.
But maybe
Chameleone
you
is very brave for not even saying
He's
a
a
word.
celebrity.
well, the thing
It's
is,
a different ball game.
I think it's easy to get sucked into the emotions of it and want to talk, but eventually the dust does settle, and when it
It does,
settles, you who stayed silent comes out looking good. Because right now Daniela is enjoying all of the attention and the sympathy she's receiving, but people have been warning her, women even, that you know what, all these people who are clapping for you and telling you to keep talking, it's not because they care about you. They
Yeah.
just want you
They're
to
just
give
enjoying.
them more tea, more
Yes.
gossip.
Yeah, it's drama for us. For us, it's just a
Eventually, when you become old news and they've forgotten about you, they're going to be making fun of you. Whereas Chameleone will have the chance of living a more dignified life. So what do you think about that? Don't you think it's therefore better to just be quiet and let time do its thing and, let the universe or God take care of the other person and send justice where necessary, but to no longer make it your problem?
For me, right now, she comes across as the bitter ex. Unfortunately, the point is getting missed in the emotions, because she may be having a very, 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 very valid point, but the emotions are clouding everything. And a lot of the people who are clapping and telling her, "You go girl," it's for gossip. The people are stepping back and they're sipping their tea and they're having their popcorn and just watching, and they are enjoying everything. So for me, if she is really, really, really hurt, there are other professional ways of handling gender-based violence or domestic abuse. You can go and seek counseling. You can go and log in, a case in court. You can report to police. There's so many better ways that this can be handled. There's so many organizations who can professionally handle this. There are lawyers who will take your case without you dragging anyone or causing a lot of burning all these bridges and then afterwards standing and there's no one and you have just a pool of dust. Also, she has kids who are still young. This will stay in the internet forever. Now, next time, one of the son's girlfriends may say, "No wonder you had a deadbeat dad, and that is why you're acting in this way. No wonder you have daddy issues. Your father was even an abusive."
You should never talk. You should never talk crap about your child's parents.
Yeah, that's a very.
Because
I think for me, that's the part I regret the most for her, because I have a feeling she has thought it out end to end. She knows. I have a feeling she has. She knows what she has to lose. She knows, yes, it's going to look bad. My kids may have to deal with, looking at a certain way. I know she's trying. I don't want to say this.
Really?
Probably trying to cash in, because people actually do cash in on these things. Let's face the facts. People do cash in on these. A podcast could come in. You could become an ambassador for GBV. You could write a book. Whatever. Things could come out of it to her benefit. But of course, yes, she's healing. She's going through all this. She's getting attention from people. That's some of the things she's getting from it. About it backfiring, yes, it's a possibility. It will backfire in some ways. But I don't know how well she has thought about what happens if my kids grow up. What happens if people pull back their support and look at me as a victim trying to shine in the limelight, something like that. So I don't know if she has really thought about it end to end, at least to that level of, if people don't believe me, then what?
Also, who will want to date her after this?
She's looking fine.
She is.
She's looking fine.
She can be looking fine, but I'm like, can I settle down with this person?
Yeah, but
who,
if
after
she's
anything
looking
is gonna air down
exactly.
out
So
on
if
my dirty
I
laundry.
had gone on a few dates with her and started developing feelings, and then I come across posts where she's bashing her ex, I'll be wondering.
And her mother-in-law.
I'll be like, yo, if things don't work out between us, will I be the next guy being blasted on social media?
Yeah.
I would keep away.
My thing is, there are things that come out of such things. Netflix documentaries get written. Surviving Chameleone probably will come out. I'm just saying, it's not the worst thing
That's
to
so
put to air your grievances
That's
to
so
the public. Is it too perfect?
That's
Don't
what she
think
Surviving
that every woman
Chameleone.
is gonna be a Cassie who's gonna get a $3 million payday. Not every woman is gonna be that.
Well,
To me,
it's a long shot, but it's an option. Yeah.
Okay, so in closing, you are of the view that you shouldn't talk about this stuff. Your dirty laundry with someone, no matter what it is you went through, you should seek different ways of dealing with it. If a crime was committed against you, go to court or to the police. If trauma was inflicted on you, seek therapy, but do not put it out there.
Yep.
For your problems to be people's entertainment.
Yes.
Is what
And
you're saying.
potential problems of your children, I guess.
Of your children,
Yeah.
especially. Yeah.
Or date wisely. Choose better people.
How do you know? You know, when a guy comes to you all nicely packaged, smelling good, tall, dark, handsome, all that stuff.
But by the
musician,
but you
dropping
can't tell-
hits after hits.
Yeah, but the guy who you almost stabbed with a knife in defense.
But I didn't. Oh my gosh! This
Almost.
is going to go on the internet.
Oh, the guy,
This
the guy who
people
you
are going to
almost
think
had
I'm a
to
red
defend-
flag. I was defending myself,
no,
bro.
exactly.
Defend
You
yourself
are defending
against.
yourself.
Are you telling me that he didn't show any signs of being potentially violent before?
Signs.
Are you telling me you
there,
had-
there were some signs, my bro. There were some signs.
Had you not heard stories of him?
I had, but you know,
Exactly. Even
when you're
everyone
young
around
and
is telling
dumb,
you, is warning you
you
about
think,
him. You
that's
think
just who he
you are
is.
in
Like
love.
he will never do that to
He
you.
can't do that to me. It's just
Yeah.
like
You
how
thought you could tame the beast.
it's just like how
Exactly.
the Cassie thing. I was watching a video this morning where there is the former mistress of Osama bin Laden was a very good friend to Didi's ex-wife, Kim Porter, and she did an interview with her. So when Cassie was the new hottest thing, he used to use Cassie to taunt her. There was even a time that Didi told Kim to eat Cassie's tampon, and Cassie was laughing because at that time she thought it wouldn't happen to her. As in, you are with this person who is doing this to the mother of his children, and she was just there laughing. So this woman was saying, I don't feel bad for Cassie because Didi showed her all these signs before when she was still new and the hot thing and blah blah blah. There was even a time that like if you just listen to this woman's case, you're like, okay, in as much as we are feeling bad for Cassie, she saw all these things. She saw Didi beat up Kim Porter in her own face, and now afterwards, yes, I'm not, and that's why I'm saying I don't condone domestic violence, but most of these ladies see these things, but because we are so infatuated and we are looking at the posh lifestyle and this, we go all in, and then when shit hits the fan, now, oh my God, why is he doing this? But you saw all this, everyone around you told you about it. Why didn't you do anything about it? Well, are you saying that you are in too deep? No, you are 1 month in. You could have left.
Well,
Tough life.
I'm glad that Nadia, you survived. Hopefully now you have a keener eye for such
Hopefully Netflix is
bad
gonna see
characters.
Netflix will not get land on this story, but if it does, we shall make it more dramatic.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this special edition of Purely Candid, in which I, Fat Boy, was the guest host.
Yay!
I don't know if they'll ever let me host it again, but
We will.
it was
We'll see,
fun.
we'll see.
But to both you guys, thank you so much. This was fun. And hey, let's keep having more conversations.
Until next time.
Bye-bye.